In order to achieve scale, many of these social media platforms have started relying more and more heavily on artificial intelligence to help identify what they would describe as problematic, toxic behaviors. These might range from aggressive or harassing comments to spreading disinformation. Often minoritized communities are going to draw the line of what's harassment, for example, differently than someone who maybe looks like me and has been historically subjected to less of that kind of behavior. But because they're minoritized communities, they're usually smaller, and when you just take a majority vote, guess whose voice is getting erased? Minority groups. And as a result, the AIs aren't representing their perspectives. So what we actually need to start to do is train the AI to essentially be able to take on the points of view of a bunch of different people. The high-level approach that we're taking is drawn after this metaphor of a jury. Imagine if instead of an AI simply saying this or that is the answer, the metaphor is that the AI is trying to replicate a jury of people who may have different opinions, and those opinions are then aggregated into a result. So what this makes us do is it makes us make explicit who's in this jury. How many people are represented in the jury from various different groups, different groups you might care about, or intersectional identities. So instead of simply saying, this is the correct answer, we say, well, a quarter of the jury represents people who look and feel this way, a quarter of the jury are from this group, et cetera, et cetera. At the end of the day, what the AI is going to do is select a bunch of jurors who represent these various groups at random, and then we'll predict what each of those individuals will say, and then we essentially get the jury result. What we want to try to do is catalyze a change in how these platforms build their models. So empowering either end users or the platform designers and developers themselves to really see why this is better. So one thing we're doing there is to basically take this model and instantiate it in a way that's out on the public web that anyone can play with. In an ideal world, what then happens is that advocates, platform developers, and so on can mess around with it and build confidence in it. Now, the second step is to actually get this to be implemented. And there's well-trodden paths for this. We'll be open sourcing the code and the models in ways that other groups can essentially take it and adapt it to their own needs. So, they don't need to take our word for it. They can actually try to do it themselves.